Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to tell you about this pre-owned 2019 Infiniti QX50 that we have for sale. We took this one in on trade. We actually took it on trade for a brand new Infiniti. It does happen. This one only has about 13,491 miles. I think the customer, they either wanted one with more equipment on it, or I think it was getting a larger vehicle. Sometimes when people have growing families, they want to move up to like a third row seat, where this is only 2 rows. But anywho, this is a local one-owner clean Carfax vehicle, serviced and checked by our Infiniti certified techs. Who better to buy a pre-owned Infiniti from than a new Infiniti retailer like us? Our techs work on these vehicles and they're very familiar with them on a daily basis. This one's kind of like the Goldilocks of the QX50 as far as the equipment goes. It's not loaded, but it's not strippy. This is a LUXE all-wheel drive. Originally it had an MSRP of $43,630. It has a heated seat package that was $550, and has a navigation package which was $700. Those are usually important features for people looking for a luxury vehicle. Nice spacious interior, huge panoramic roof. It opens. And if it gets too bright out, you also have a sunshade that you can close that dims things down, but we'll leave it open since it's not too bright where we are right now. Power and heated front seats, electronic parking brake. We have a drive mode selector that will make changes to the transmission, steering. So you have eco, standard, sport, and personal. 2019 is a great year for the QX50 because it got a complete ground up redesign. It's really pretty much a completely different than the QX50 it replaces, built on a new platform. It now has a CVT transmission. A CVT transmission offers an almost infinite amount of gear ratio, so you have that perfect gear ratio for that current driving situation. The old QX50 just had a 7-speed automatic transmission. And we also now have a dual display system, which we find in some of the other Infiniti products like the Q50 and Q60. Before, the old QX50 just had a single small display system. Older infotainment system on the old QX50, I think it dated back to around 2008. So this has more of the latest and greatest in Infiniti technology. The top screen is for backup camera. The bottom screen is a tablet-like interface for vehicle settings and apps. You can access the drive mode selector here if you want as well. Some cool features, active trace control, that will brake individual wheels to help the vehicle rotate a little bit better through the corners. You can shut that system on or off. Then we have active engine braking. Engine braking, what that does is it increases the engine braking. So engine braking is basically the resistance of the powertrain, and it will slow down the vehicle. I'm sure when you've driven a vehicle, you take your foot off the gas, it will naturally slow down. Well, that makes it a little bit more aggressive, and one of the benefits was, the less you use your brakes, the longer life you get out of your brakes. So that's one of the benefits of active engine braking. You can shut that system on or off as well. Then we have driver's assistance settings as well. So you can shut off your vehicle dynamic control, that's your traction stability control. You have a blind spot warning. I don't know why you'd ever want to shut that off. Then we have forward collision warning and forward emergency braking. We have a nice steering wheel that tilts and telescopes. You have steering wheel paddle shifters. So even though the CVT transmission doesn't have traditional gears, it can simulate gear ratios for performance driving. I think it's 8 simulated ratios during performance driving mode or for using the paddle shifters. Automatic dimming mirror of universal garage door opener. The QX50 features a beautiful curvaceous body, lots of contours. It's not a boxy cookie cutter SUV that you normally see. And even the ones that aren't boxy, a lot of SUVs, it's a hard shape to deal with. You know, you have a giant jelly bean or egg on wheels, so sometimes it's hard to make something like that look good. But Infiniti did a great job, and you have to work with what people want right now. Compact crossovers like this QX50. These are the hottest products right now in the United States as far as auto sales go. People are buying more compact crossovers or crossover SUVs than anything. And the difference between a crossover and a traditional SUV, traditional SUV is built on body-on-frame truck-based architecture. So the old school, SUVs like the old Nissan Pathfinder, the old Ford Explorer, things like that, they were all built on body-on-frame architecture. And still to this day, we still use body on frame on some of the bigger ones, like the full-size SUVs like our QX80 or the Cadillac Escalade, Lincoln Navigator. But for smaller SUVs, you don't really need rugged body and frame architecture, because most of these vehicles aren't going off-road. They're not going to tow 10,000 pounds, they're not towing boats. So they use car-based body, they use car-based unibody architecture for crossover SUVs, and that's what makes it like a crossover. It basically looks like an SUV, but it's built a lot more like a traditional car, so you get better gas mileage, more car-like driving dynamics. And even though this is compact, I have a good amount of interior space back here. I had that front seat adjusted for my height. My knees aren't hitting that seat. I have plenty of headroom, shoulder room. It's very comfortable back here. The second row seats also slide back and forth, and they also recline. It's not a feature you always find on a two-row crossover like this. Power rear liftgate as well. This is the first time you could actually get a power rear liftgate on the QX50 in 2019. All the older ones didn't have it. It's a smaller vehicle, so I can understand why they didn't do it before, but I've had some customers that are kind of on the shorter end. And, you know, for me, I'm 6'2", I don't have that problem, but if you're, you know, 5 feet, it can be hard to reach up and grab that. So that's why power liftgates are convenient for some people. The second row seats, they fold down. The headrest is just getting away, but they fold flat, so you can have lots of cargo space back here if you need be. The QX50 comes standard with front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is optional. This one has all-wheel drive. Most of the Infinitis that you find in our inventory have all-wheel drive, because that's generally what our consumers want in the wet, slippery climate here in the Pacific Northwest. It's also an intelligent all-wheel drive system. So when all-wheel drive is not needed, it'll keep it 100% front-wheel drive just to reduce, improve gas mileage and reduce tire wear. And it can quickly send up to 50% of the vehicle's power to the rear wheels as needed. One gorgeous looking vehicle. Nice, beautiful lights, gorgeous curves and contours in the hood and throughout the body. And one of the coolest aspects of the QX50 is its engine. It's actually the world's first variable compression engine. Infiniti has been working a long time on this engine technology, about 20 years. It can mechanically change the compression ratio pretty much on the fly. So depending on your driving needs, if you're just cruising along on back roads or cruising along the highway, you don't need all that power, it's going to mechanically change the compression ratio to maximize fuel efficiency. I believe that's 14:1. And then, for instance, if you are doing some performance driving or you want to merge onto the highway or pass someone, the car can quickly detect that you need full power, so it will very quickly mechanically change the compression ratio. I believe it's 9:1, which will give you maximum output. Maximum horsepower on this vehicle is 280 horsepower. Sorry, it's not 280 horsepower, it's 280 pound-feet of torque and 268 horsepower, so that's usually the power you get from like a V6, but this is a turbocharged 4-cylinder, so you get V6-like power, but you get 4-cylinder like gas mileage. If you're in the market for a compact luxury crossover, the QX50 is an excellent choice with its innovative new powertrain, great fuel efficiency, beautiful styling, and wonderful driving dynamics. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.